Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to start a photography business off with only $600. Now I am going to stick with Nikon in this video. So I know there are other paths you can take, but we're just going to stick with Nikon. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to get one camera body, one lens, and a reflector. That's all we're going to get. And photography is not all about gear. Knowledge of the exposure triangle, composition, and other stuff is very important. So the camera body I'm going to go with here is the Nikon D7100. Now, I have used this. I've actually used it to shoot weddings. I'm not saying go and start shooting weddings with one camera body on your first week after watching YouTube videos. Don't do it, okay? But this is going to be a good beginner camera for us, and we can get this used for about $400, the body only, right? And then here we can get a 50. You can get either the 50 or the 35. If it's a crop sensor, I would advise maybe the 35, but personally what I would do is the 50, because just the compression the 50 gives me, I'm able to get nice portraits. At the same time, when I step back, I can get wider shots. So if I were to just have one lens and I only had $600 to spend, that's what I would do. So this is why I'm going for the 50. Now, the next thing is I'll get a reflector. These reflectors, you can find them for less than $20 on Amazon, and so you can use that to bounce light around outdoors. It's not a direct replacement for flash or anything, but it's a good starting point, especially if you want to focus on natural light. So now when you add these three up, that's $400, $135, and that's what, $535, and then $15. So that leaves a little bit over, and that might be enough to probably grab a second battery for your camera and then grab an SD card. So this will be good to get you started. That's what we're talking about today, getting started. Now, once you've bought the gear, okay, while you're waiting for the gear to ship in, start learning on YouTube. Start learning free articles. Back in the day, you'd have to pay thousands of dollars to be able to get in on a workshop for somebody to teach you the off-camera flash skills or anything photography related. But today, everybody's teaching it for free. You just have to know the right videos to watch, the right people to stick with. Otherwise, you'll be watching videos all day and all night and not really learning. But you have to remember one thing. Most beginners watch way too many videos about the same thing over and over and over again. And they think they know it. And then when they go and do it, it doesn't turn out the way they thought it would, just because they've watched 1,000 videos on it. So just watch one or two videos and go out there and start practicing. Make the mistakes yourself. When you make the mistakes yourself, it's very easy to learn from that. So remember, it's all about practice, practice, practice. So the three things you need to learn: the exposure triangle, you need to learn your aperture, your ISO, and your shutter speed. So aperture, ISO, and shutter speed. These three things, if you know how to manipulate them at all times, in all lighting situations, you can always get a decent image. Without the knowledge of the exposure triangle, do not introduce flash. Do not start adding flash to solve your problems. That's going to be a big mistake. You have to understand how to work your ambient light, available light, how to manipulate all those things before you introduce flash to your workflow. And also, please, when you start off, don't do any weddings, especially with one camera body with very little experience. Even if it's a very close friend and they are telling you, hey, just come do it, do whatever. At the end of the day, if you mess up somebody's wedding, it's a big deal. So just make sure you fully understand your craft, you know yourself before you start doing weddings. It's easily doable. With $600, it's doable, and you just have to know what to learn and when to learn it. So once you've mastered your exposure triangle, and you are very confident that at any given point in time when your camera is in manual, you can always get a sharp image which is well lit, then now you can move on to learning other photography theories. You can move on to learning composition. You can move on to learning different types of photography. And that's how you go. You don't just sit down one day and decide to watch videos on everything and think it would stick. It doesn't work that way. So if you have a plan, it will just come to you so fast. You wouldn't waste a whole year just touching on things here and there, instead of focusing and learning from the basics and building your way up. All right, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.